Hello. Welcome to Mondays in the Meditation Room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. If you see some issues going on, if I'm slowing down or freezing, something is acting hanky with my internet. And so I don't know if everybody in this area and their mama all of a sudden on their internets or not. I don't know what's going on, but prayerfully it won't interrupt our time today on Mondays in the Meditation Room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. Hey y'all, welcome to fall. Happy fall, happy autumn. We are in the new season officially, and it met us with a bang with all of that much needed rain for the earth. And I'm learning how to be grateful for the sunshine and the rain. How about you? So, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, welcome. I'm elated to be back in the room with you as we close out the month of September, but we are starting a brand new season. This is where you will find all things enlightenment and empowerment for Black women in midlife, where we are redefining, reimagining who we are and what our life can be in this amazing sacred season. So, hey, come on in. Welcome to the tribe. We're glad you're here. We're glad you are here. If you are able, go ahead and put something in the comments to say hello, to let us know you're with us, even if you're watching via replay, because we still check the comments and people come back, sisters come back from time to time. So I'm sure your input will bless them. So, we kicked off in September with the series Radical Reset Conversations. And we started out with Radical Mindset Reset. Man, it was powerful. For me, at least, it was just, and I hope it blesses you. We're not going to do the review on tonight. I don't want to take up too much of the time that I've allotted myself tonight, but I invite you to go to either of these pages that you're watching on and watch the replay. Hey, Facebook user, you got to tell me who you are. Great evening to you. Great evening, Sister Max. Glad to have y'all. And so tonight, man, I'm still on a high. I'm wore out physically, but spiritually, I am on a high. The Serenity Experience for Women in Midlife 2023 is in the books, and man, is it one for the books. We were off for 2021. Wait, what year is this? 2022. We didn't do it 2022. Spirit literally said, no big events for you this year. Go inward, focus, deal with some things for you to make sure you are prioritizing yourself. I want to do some work in you. And I surrendered. I mean, who's going to tell God no? I tried initially, but then I surrendered to it, and it was the best thing ever. So we're back in 2023. The Serenity Experience, well worthy and wealthy, and it was worth the wait. And so what I wanted to do to close out September before we begin or continue our radical reset conversations in October, where we are going to start talking about that Black body magic, how we manage our physical bodies during this season. We're going to talk about that in the month of October. And I'm a little scared, but I'm excited because I am entering into a physical reset season, and I'm going to take y'all along that journey on what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, introduce y'all to my new strength training program that I'm doing at the Future of Fitness, a Black-owned fitness workout space in Crofton, Maryland, that I absolutely appreciate and love. And so take you on a journey. Maybe you might want to do some reset. And our one of our facilitators at the Serenity Experience, I listened to her on a radio interview, and she was saying the best time to do a reset, any type of reset, is October and May. And I said to myself, yes, because I had already planned to do that reset in October. And I was so excited to hear that another time is May, which is spring, which is my birthday, which I also designated as a time to go inward and focus and reset. So we in good company, y'all. So come on along for the journey. So on today, hey Erica, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So I am going to invite some of the attendees to the Serenity Experience to join me on the platform as we review and talk about the Serenity Experience 2023. Because I couldn't just talk about it myself, I had to bring some of the Serenity Circle sisters who came to help talk about it and what dare I say, get us ready for next year. So the Serenity Experience is for women in midlife is what I like to say uniquely curated experience for women who are in somewhere on that midlife continuum as midlife and in the pause continuum, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. And so we're going to take a minute to talk about it, and I get to invite them up. So I'm looking to see Sister Lisa Jeffries. I'm sorry, I said sister like I'm in church. Well, we always in church, right? Because God is always with us, right? Lisa Jeffries, Crystal Cotman, and Carla Harris. I'm so glad to see y'all. I'm going to bring y'all up. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. Hey,
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 Hello, ladies.
hey, ladies.
hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm just gonna call your name, and you guys can introduce yourselves. Anything you want to share before we get to started talking about um, our experience at the Serenity Experience. It was hosted. This was the first time we did this brand new venue. We hosted it at the Pearl Wellness Spa and Boutique in Columbia, Maryland. And I absolutely love the fact that our space was called the Bliss
Mhm.
Studio. Woohoo! And it was wonderful. We were also able, as a part of our time, we stayed at the Meriwether Lake House, an autograph collection hotel by Marriott, and that was the site of our hormone happy hour PJ party, emotions, hot flashes, and libido. Oh my! I mean, Dr. Marcia Levi. I don't know. I don't have words. I'm gonna have to let y'all kind of jump in and chime in on what that experience was like with her. But we didn't want to keep that to ourselves. We wanted to be able to share it. Hey, Deanna. Hey, Carla Bones. How you doing? I'm so glad y'all are here. So we'll start with Lisa. Just say hey and share anything you want to say about yourself. We just love your smile and your beautiful spirit. Lisa is 1/4 of the Designing Divas and Two Dudes event planning who can transform a room. I mean, just transform it. And you go in one way and you go back and you're like, oh my God. And once again, they transform that room into a beautiful, sacred space for us. So, okay. Hey, Lisa.
Okay, thank you, and thank you. Really and truly, thank you, Dr. K, for caring and loving women and allowing me to just hold on to your coattail and travel with you to some places where it has helped me remember me, know me, love me, grow me, teach me, all of the me's. My slogan is me, myself, and I. And yes, I do matter. You know, so you said think about a slogan for yourself. That's mine. I do matter. And the
Mhm.
experience has just been so awesome for me. And I'm still growing and I'm still learning myself. And I got so tickled, libido. Oh my. I said, where is, I have no libido. It's like, low libido. No, no libido was my thing. But I'm managing it and I'm on some hormones now and some
Mhm.
replacement things. And I'm feeling good about myself. And so, ladies, this is worth it to have sisters you can talk to and figure out how to get and do this thing and work it out and continue to love yourself and be beautiful inside and out.
Yes, I love it. And I'm going to come back to that. Thank you so much for sharing that part because I don't know that we really talked about supplements and we need to talk about that some more. So thank you for sharing that. We're going to come back to you. All right, Carla.
Mhm.
Hey, Dr. K. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Um, this was such an amazing experience to be able to be with women where it was so safe. And we were able to talk about any and everything with no shame, with no blame, with no negative feelings. But here's my truth. And to
Mhm.
have someone that can look at you and say, I see you, I feel you, and you're not by yourself. It was
Mhm.
just very empowering. I talked to my mom about it on the way home. She's 77. She was like, I have never had that space.
Wow.
Mm,
Imagine if women my age were able to have these conversations and then train you all differently.
right.
But now I get to pass this on to my 19 and 21-year-old to let them know about the different seasons that they will go through and how their body will respond and that it's okay. But start the conversation so that we can be empowered and grow and learn and do better and make better choices. So thank you for that vision and thank you for creating that space for us to have that safety.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm excited to hear from you. I'll let you tell that story,
Mhm,
but I'm excited. I'm encouraging you. I'm encouraging you,
mhm,
Carla,
mhm.
for your contribution to the conversation soon. Dawn, you got to put your camera on so we can see you, so I can bring you up. So thank you,
Mhm.
thank you, thank you. All right, Christo.
Hey, I'm just so glad to be here along with you ladies. This weekend was phenomenal. We just got a chance to really just be ourselves. And I didn't grow up with a sister, and I have some really good friends, but I don't think we've ever gotten that. It just never felt that safe as it did in the room. And we just got a chance to really just see ourselves in a different light. That's about the best way I could say it, is without having that critical negative eye. And you just help me to see me, to see me.
I love it. So, for those of you who may be watching on replay or watching this is your first time or you're new, when we talk about midlife, we're talking about, we used to say, 40, yeah, and back in the day it was even like 50 on up. And then we keep moving the needle a little earlier than it, stayed at 40 and then it went to 35. And now we're literally talking about a window of 30 all the way up to 65 plus. And that's so important also for us as women of color, and in particular Black women. Has been shown that we enter into it earlier, we are in it longer before menopause actually sets in that one day. And sometimes we have symptoms more intense that also places us in danger of dealing with other health issues because of it. Because the way Dr. Marcia broke it down to us and the way that I've been studying, that diminishing of estrogen in our bodies is what causes all of the symptoms is major. Our body and mind and spirit is completely connected. And those hormones, estrogen and testosterone and progesterone, all of that really is the engines, not the little engines, but engines that affect everything about us. So when it starts decreasing, as we talked about, for those of you who are watching or will watch on the replay, it there's over 25 to 30 symptoms, and we don't even know if that's all of them, right? We always just talk about definitely what the hot flashes and night sweats that happens, the brain fog, the irritability, the mood swings, but we don't often talk about the joint pain, the joint and muscle pain, the headaches, the digestive issues that begin to happen, heart palpitations. We haven't been talking about that, the heart palpitations that happen, and anything I'm missing, y'all just, low libido, vaginal dryness and irritability, and increase in UTIs and sometimes yeast infections, all of this, thinning hair. Like every time I stop, another one comes up, right? Thinning hair, dry skin, and some people have some women have dry, itchy skin. um, it's all of that that is related to the diminishing of estrogen, testosterone, right, in our bodies. And so we need to encourage each other because a lot of physicians have not been trained. They are not sensitive. They don't know, and I don't want to say they don't care, but they dismiss it and sometimes tell us it's all in our head. But we know better, right? But what I love that's happening right now is there's a whole movement afoot to change the narrative, to make it normalize, is what I like to say too, to normalize the conversation. And did you know, like between 67 to 70% of women never seek help to deal with the symptoms? They just suffer in silence when that's really not necessary. So there are a lot more people talking about it. It's all the rage now. Oprah talking about it. What is her name? Her name just went right out of my head. Oh my goodness, I can't think of her name right now. Naomi Watts. She's an actress. There's a lot more products and brands now, and what I appreciate that a lot of them are women headed. But so far, I only know of two that are Black owned. We met one, Care Beauty Products, that's open, then started by two women of color. Um, Welcome, dog. And it used to be called Bossa Bars, but now they're called Mental Well Protein Bars. And there is another two sisters that started, and they have a cream called Condition Her, HER. It is all natural cream that you can use on all the body parts that help you stay moisturized. And so I'm just proud of them for stepping up. And I'm proud of all of the women. Serena Williams, she donated. I don't know if I want to say donate. That's not the right word. She invested in a company called Wild Women, WILE, that's also producing products. So there's all sorts of stuff out there now, but you have to be careful what you try because there's a lot of probiotics. There's a lot of supplements they're saying taking, tea you can drink, cream you can do. They even have CBD vaginal inserts and suppositories to help with the vaginal dryness and to help you calm yourself. So there's a lot out there. You just have to talk to your physician before you start taking anything or putting anything in and on your body. Make sure you read about it, vet it, and talk to your doctor. If you have a doctor that's not compassionate and sensitive, you can find one. Google a menopause specialist doctor. You can even get more specific if you want a Black female doctor, say Black female menopause specialist, right? And it will come up because we can partner with our physicians and should be able to partner with our physicians to help us thrive through this season. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about all of you were there Friday night with Dr. Marcia Levi and the information she shared. I see you over there fanning. Woo! Yes, Lord. So let's talk about Friday night. What was your impression, or was something that struck you about Friday night, and how did it help you?
Mm, mm, mm. I'll
Anybody?
start. Oh, okay. I'll start. I'll just go real quick. Dr. Marcia and her just knowledge. It was such a wealth of knowledge. And y'all, I'm the note taker. This is the book I took my notes in. And it was just so much I couldn't even get it all. And just so helpful and enlightening. She's an enlightened woman. We were definitely enlightened on things that we just no one taught us.
Mhm.
I'll stop there.
That's good. Thank you. Anybody else? Dawn, you just jumped on anything that you want to share about Friday night, and everybody can get in. So if you're just joining, we're talking about and doing a recap on the Serenity Experience for Women in Midlife 2023. We just had it this past weekend at the Pearl Wellness and Spa and at the Meriwether Lake House Hotel in Columbia, Maryland. And it was absolutely a mind blowing experience, at least for me. It was so helpful and enlightening. So we're talking right now about Friday night, which was our pajama party, and we called it Hormone Happy Hour.
Mhm.
Emotions, hot flashes, and libido. Oh my. Dawn would say, what one thing, I know it was hard to bring it down to one thing, was what was something that you would take away that you would say was amazing about Friday night?
Um, wow. Yeah, right. What's the one thing? I, I mean, everything was so phenomenal. I I love the way Dr. Marcia just allowed the spirit to just lead her.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that that's what it was. I mean, not taking anything away from her wealth of knowledge, but the way it flowed, like it was just so effortless, and you could tell that it was the spirit. And I don't know if anybody picked up on like her pauses. As she paused, you could tell there was a download happening, and then she would deliver, and then there was a pause, and then she would deliver, and it was just so phenomenal. And even though I don't have a thyroid issue, like the wealth that I learned about the extra thyroids that you have to substitute for the one that you don't, like just that wealth of knowledge. And Crystal, I'm surprised that of all the notes that you took, the one thing that you took away from that was not the prophecy that she gave you. But okay, I know you wrote it down, but okay. Because
I was
that was
trying to keep it
definitely.
short.
And I mean, and she
Oh,
actually did that with a lot of people in the room. I think yours was just so profound because of the timing of it. But there was just so much. Like I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot, and I think um, um, forums like this, the aftermath, will help us to capture some of those moments, continue to capture some of those moments for those who may have missed something, even though we were in the room, may have missed something. But I think that'll help us to recap and capture some of those moments that were in the room.
Amen. Love it. Love it. Carla, what about you? Anything stood out
Oh,
for you?
yes, to piggyback on what my sisters have said, what I loved about Dr. Marcia is that she talked about medical terms in a way that everybody in that room understood the
Mm-hmm.
conversation and the language. She talked to us with such love and compassion that if you were in that room Friday, I don't think that you will have another doctor's appointment that will be the same.
Yes.
Because Because what I need you to do
Yes.
is break it down to some syllables I understand, explain to me what my options are, explain to me what my follow-up care should be, not
Mm-hmm.
just to come see you, but what part should I be massaging and touching.
Mm-hmm.
She just gave us such insight that, yeah, it was just amazing, but it was such a plethora of information.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna have me looking at everyone that I see a little differently because
Right.
I want
Well,
that.
I want that, right? She raised the bar.
Right,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
She
right,
absolutely.
raised the bar. And
right.
that's a good thing, because as women, I think we're conditioned to not ask questions or to push back on authority or professionals, right? To think that they know. But the truth is, we
Right.
know what's best, and your physician should be your partner, not a dictator or someone that tells you how you feel or how you should feel. And that
Right.
should be so helpful in that, and that we should be okay asking questions, and okay switching physicians if necessary, if we don't feel that
Mhm.
compassion or understanding. And I thought that was powerful, and I
And,
wholeheartedly embrace that new standard that she set for us for physicians.
mhm.
Lisa.
And remembering too, Dr. K, they are practicing physicians.
Hey, that's it.
You have to remember they are practicing physicians. So some of them are learning as they go.
It's
Mm-hmm.
true. And I don't have a problem with people learning unless if they're upfront with that, and then they say, wait, let me research, let me consult with
Hmm.
someone, let me
Hmm.
ask some questions, and because
Right.
we all don't know all of the answers.
Correct.
And it's a uh, uh, can be a mystery. Our bodies can be a mystery, but that's what Carla. I was keep trying to say, Dr. Carla. I'm saying you're right. She demystified a lot of what's
Yes.
happening in our bodies, and that is powerful. Hey, Pastor
Yep.
Lisa.
And
Right. So
I
basically,
said the
so you got to
spirit.
tell me who you are, so I know, because you just said you totally agree with me. So I need to know who agreeing with me. I don't know why I'm not showing your name, but it's okay. Keep on sharing. Keep on sharing. Okay, Lisa, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was your takeaway?
I want to kind of seal it with the kiss. I have never touched my body in this last weekend more. I'm like, what is going on with me? You know, I'm touching and feeling. I didn't even know I had all these body parts. After this is crazy.
Beautiful.
What's happening? It opened my eyes
Beautiful.
so much.
Absolutely.
How powerful is that? Because she also this is the big word, the big bad wolf, that the world uses to control women. Also, is shame.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
So it's almost like we are being taught to be shame of our bodies, shame that we're going through a cycle or a period. So we don't talk about it, we don't say nothing. We are estranged from our own bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are to get to know them, we are to get to know them. We should be aware if we're touching and we're like, hey, what is that? Let me go find out what that is. Let me figure out what that is, and to be so in tune with our bodies so that we know when they're off,
Yep. Yep.
right? So that we know and stop ignoring it
Hmm.
and use
Hmm.
the gift of connection with our bodies that we have. So if I'm getting a headache, I should be able to say, oh my goodness, I haven't drunk enough water today. Or, oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness, I shouldn't have eaten that. Let me lay off of that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Right.
our stomach feels tight, or we're feeling indigestion, and we say, Holy
Right.
Spirit, help me, what is this? Am I pressing something down? Am I ignoring something I need to know? Am I not speaking up when I need to be saying something, and I'm
Mhm.
starting to feel it in my body? Man, can you imagine? And can I tell you, that kind of power is what frightens people about women.
Hmm. And you're so right, Dr. K, because so I had a hysterectomy, and for a year I was going to the doctor, and I was like, hey, my menstruals are like really crazy, and he was like, oh, that's just the shedding of your uterus, and I was like, okay, so like I'm not stupid, right? Like they're really crazy. And so like they were so bad to the point where at one point I was wearing Pampers because that's
Mhm.
how heavy they were. And I was like, this is just not right. So after the fourth time, him telling me, oh, that's just the shedding of your uterus, switched doctors,
Mhm.
went to the second doctor, and he was like, so tell me how they normally work. And so I would tell him, and he was like, okay, sounds like something's going on. But let me know the next time you have a menstrual, because of course, he's trying to figure it out without me having a menstrual. So, okay, I took the clue. He didn't tell me, but I took the clue. So, a little graphic. I caught the clock. The next
Mm-hmm.
time, I froze it, made an appointment. I said they were
Mm.
golf ball size clocks.
Mhm, mhm,
That's not normal. So,
mhm,
when I took it, and he was like, whoa, okay. So, then we did a series of sonograms, and of course, it's showing nothing, but I'm having these terrible menstruals. And so, finally, I decided we got to get rid of what's causing it.
Mm-hmm.
So had the hysterectomy. Come to find out, I had this condition called adrenomyosis, which was so my right side, whenever my menstrual would come on, would cause me to triple over in pain. And what was happening, as much as I was losing, the right side was containing.
mm.
Wow.
And it
Jesus.
wasn't going to be too many more times my body was going to be able to handle that, or that
Mhm.
my uterus was going to explode. It was going to rupture.
Wow.
And he said to me, he was like, I'm glad you knew your body.
Mm.
He said, because if not, this would have been totally different.
It
Mm.
would have ended up.
And the timing was right to the point where I could save my ovaries because the right side was so damaged that it was causing damage to the right ovary. But
Mm.
because we did the surgery when we did, I could save both ovaries.
Awesome.
Wow. See,
But
that's it's
that's
yeah.
because I knew this
Mhm,
is not normal. I'm like, this
Mm-hmm.
isn't normal. Like
Yep.
who? Like all of these years, and then all of a sudden, this is what's happening. This isn't normal.
Yep.
And
And we
don't
do that.
insult me.
Yeah, that oh my goodness, yes. And we have to be okay with being insulted because that means we're intelligent.
mm,
You're
mm,
insulting my
mhm,
intelligence when you try to
mhm,
tell me what I'm saying is not right. Or
Right. And I was like,
mm-hmm.
and I went through it, and it was almost a year to the date when I started the complaints. Almost a year to the date. And then, and then the doctor, he was like, so yeah, well, this won't be invasive. Remember I told you it was all done vaginally, so I have no cuts. So that was another like saving grace, because then the other doctor was like, well, if we do it, you'll have to cut you straight down. I was like, what? like,
Mm-hmm.
like all of that. So, so even this doctor was even better, in terms of how he did the surgery, so I mean, it was just, again, knowing your body and knowing that this isn't normal. It could have turned out to be nothing, but it was still not normal for me.
mm.
Right.
Right?
And that
It
is
wasn't normal
so
for me.
key to know your body, not comparing yourself to somebody else or letting them
Correct.
compare you to someone else. That
Correct.
was good. So we can talk about that night and Dr. Marcia forever because I can't believe it's already 8:32. So we're gonna go to excuse me,
Bless
Bless you.
go to yes, Lisa, Dr. Pastor Lisa said, yeah, you knew and you advocated for yourself because
you. Mhm.
sometimes
Hmm.
we're our own best advocates for
That's
ourselves
right.
and for our children in the
Yeah.
midst of dealing with physicians. So our first workshop was
Mm,
uh,
mm, mm.
the way of the
The
lotus.
way of the lotus.
Woo! Disruptions
In that mud.
require power pivots. Y'all know I was by myself studying and researching that lotus, and my God,
Mhm.
y'all that are watching and those who will watch later, we did some research on the lotus, the way of the lotus. And we
Mhm.
called it the way of the lotus because of the fact that a lotus is an
Mm.
aquatic plant, meaning or flower, that it dwells in the water and it is rooted and seeded in mud and murky water, and the the plant, the stalk rises up through the murky mud and dirt, and when it comes through to the water surface, and when it comes through it blossoms on top, but there's no evidence of the mud and the murk that it came through
Mm, mm,
because
mm, mm,
it's a
mm,
protective layer, and it is so consistent. At night it closes up, goes back down, but every morning it seeks the sun, it comes up and blossoms. That
and
whole
do it
thing
all
about
over
Mm.
again.
and strength and purity. is really symbolized in that lotus. And we're talking about all the stuff that we're talking about now, all of the symptoms, and then not having the runway or the head start of having the conversation. When it happens, it is so disruptive to our lives, and how we manage that disruption, right? We talked about a few things that we can do to then pivot, because when you get to that point, midlife is usually the point where all kind of stuff begins to surface, and you have to make a choice to deal with them, heal from them, acknowledge them, so that you can pivot and move forward and thrive. What were your thoughts and ideas about the first session, the way of the lotus? Midlife disruption requires power pivots. Woo!
I'm
Anybody?
going to go back and talk about me with now doing a hormone patch and testosterone to help me. I've been on it for like 3 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to my first doctor because I switched doctors. It was a
Mm-hmm.
man and a male doctor. And I kept telling him what I was going through, that I had zero sex drive. And that was really a problem for me because I didn't have no desire to have sex with my husband. And I'm tired of being a actress. I wanted it to be real because that's all I was doing was acting. So I switched over to a female OBG who was 30 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, let's try this and see how this works for you. Of course, I was scared because I've heard so many horror stories about taking hormones, but I had to do something. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling good. I can see some difference. And I want to get my friend back. And I'm like, okay, something's going on here. It's getting a little better.
Yes.
You know, my life was disrupted, and it's been disrupted for a long time, guys. A long
Yes.
time. I've been faking for a long time, and Mama
Oh,
started that. So, you know, my lotus is finally coming through that mud,
hey,
and I
hey.
keep like,
Yes, I absolutely love it. Thank you for sharing that, because the truth is, and they are recalibrating that now. They are adjusting it, and they know, they feel like they went all the way to the other end of the pendulum as it related to hormone. So what Lisa is talking about is hormone replacement therapy, right? And so when they first started doing hormone replacement therapy, they had a few people who had bad reactions, or they feel like it can cause heart disease or it can cause cancer. And when those things came up, they just like shut it down. They didn't do any kind of recalibrating it, or bioidentical hormone replacements. That hadn't happened yet. But since then, they've recalibrated because they restudied. They said, those types of reactions can happen, and it could have to do with the age. It could have to do with their history. It could have had all kind of reasons why those things happen, but it wasn't necessarily general across the board.
right,
And so a lot of women suffered without that help because they were afraid. And plus, now transdermal patches, they have vaginal, so things that don't have to go through your bloodstream, things that don't have to actually affect your organs and things like that, but it can bring some relief. And so I'm glad about that. And I'm glad you took the leap of faith to do that, and are getting some relief, because they can also put you on the lowest dose possible,
I am
and with you,
those. Hmm. Yeah.
because we need some relief. So that's the power of going to a physician that is educated and sympathetic and compassionate, and has kept up with the latest research. And that's what you want to do too, is ask some questions. How up to date are you on your research in menopause, and what's available, and what I can do to help me to manage, because it can be so disruptive. Because if you're not getting sleep, you're groggy in the morning and you're tired, and you could not show up as your best at work or for your family. And a lack of sleep can affect other things in your body.
Hmm.
A whole lot of things.
And so we
Absolutely.
shouldn't have to suffer through that. So disruption requires power pivots. How How has this midlife disruption, though, caused you to pivot or to change? Either change your thinking, change what you're doing with your body. Anybody want to share what that midlife disruption has been like for you? But not just that, what things are you doing or what new thoughts do you have now that will allow you to pivot or change?
Just the whole piece about just how I see myself. Growing up, and it's kind of like the Lotus thing just really messed me up in there. And I know y'all always call me a crybaby, but I sure was crying because it was just so real, that mud piece, because I felt like I grew up in the mud. And it's like, I'm trying to get out of the mud.
Mhm.
And but because I was in it, I couldn't see the good part. I
Mhm.
would just see the mud.
Mhm.
And so this whole midlife thing, probably starting a couple of years ago, like, from the other Serenity Experience when that I attended, it just helped me to learn to, and just being around you guys and being with women that are supportive and loving, and
Mhm.
just not afraid to, say you look good, or just not, that are complimentary and caring. It makes a difference in life when you, and then when I look at myself now, I can see I don't just look at the negative,
Mhm.
or the flaws, and just focus only on that. You guys have helped me to see the good too.
Whew, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. Carla, anything you want to add or share in that before we go
Um,
to the next one?
yes, yes, ma'am. It's funny because as I was listening to Sister Crystal talk, and the way she just ended it is actually where I was focused.
Mhm.
I remember one of the first calls you had with Serenity, the Serenity Experience, and you asked the women on the call to name something that they were proud of. And
Mm.
I was driving home, and that really struck me because I don't think I have ever been in a religious environment where they've said, "What are you proud of?"
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
The only message I have ever
Wow.
received about pride was that it comes before the fall.
Mm.
Wow.
And it wasn't until you worded it like that that I got the narrative,
Mhm.
Mm.
and I was able to change the narrative. And
Mhm.
like you actually get to acknowledge the things that you do well because we have no problems beating ourselves over the stuff we're not doing right.
Woo, come on. Yep.
That
So
part.
when I tied it into the first session and you said reclaim your power is one of the ways to pivot, to
Mm.
reclaim something means you already had it.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's the importance of
Yeah.
actually knowing that we are powerful and we all have our superpowers so that
Mhm.
you know you get to go back for something that's rightfully yours and that God has ordained for you to have.
Hey.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are a constant reminder of something that many women have never heard.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, that was so good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Whew,
It's good.
that is good. So real quick, I'm only gonna keep you out for a few more minutes. So we might not be able to finish it. Which one should we do? Should we do Phoenix Rising or I Am Hippolyta to close out?
Lord have mercy.
I know.
You choose. You choose. You choose.
Uh-uh.
Yep.
I
You
am
choose.
Hippolyta. I am Hippolyta.
Yes, y'all. I am Hippolyta. And that is so much. So I'll just quickly say I am Hippolyta, the power to name yourself and rediscover your agency. And all I'm gonna say about that is I don't even know if you can Google the episode and watch it, but if you can Google the episode and watch it and you can manage it and see it for what it is, go ahead and do that. But we're talking about that journey back to yourself and giving yourself permission to name yourself and not allow everything and everybody and your experiences and all of that to determine who you are and to rediscover your agency. Woo, woo.
Mm, mm, mm.
Anybody want to comment on that one?
The shrinking of yourself to fit in, or to, not be, to fit in. And I'm just reminded of I can't remember her name, that had the granddaughter that was um um shrinking
Deborah,
herself to fit
Deborah,
Deborah.
Sister
Right.
Yes,
Deborah. Hmm.
Mhm.
yes, and just the whole piece on teaching our young girls
Mhm.
that they are enough, they are fine as they are, and to bloom as you are, blossom as you are, and don't let any outer, to give them that
Mhm.
a surety of in themselves that
Mhm.
they are enough is where I am now with my grandbabies. I have a 12-year-old and a 5-year-old, two
Mhm.
girls, and I mean, I am that just really stood out for me.
Woo, awesome. Anybody else? That's so good.
I had a
Hmm.
personal moment in the healing water, and I just stood up and screamed, "I am Lisa." And that came from a place that needed to come out. So when you get up, just yell out who you are, and it'll feel good to you. It does.
Yes.
Yes, yes. That was so powerful. I was like, we all felt that, Lisa,
I
when you
know
did
we
that, when you stood
did.
up and yelled,
Hmm.
"I am Lisa," and because that was the scene that kind of tore me, just like, yeah, when she screamed, "I am Hippolyta," that, and to be able to do that, it's just so freeing and affirming. But she went through a process to get there,
To
and that's
get there.
women to know that it's a process to get there.
Mhm.
And don't beat yourself up, and you get there when you get there, when you get to that place of healing, when you get to that place of acknowledgement, when you get to that place of reclaiming your power and yourself. Celebrate it then. Don't beat yourself up about where you aren't, but you're in process.
Mm.
Mhm.
You're already in.
Hmm.
That's it.
that's
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 it.
that's it. So I'm saying, and for us to acknowledge that we are here because we're maturing, and
Mhm.
the world is constantly trying to make us wish we weren't, as if maturing is a bad thing, when
Hmm.
maturing and growing is a badge of honor, where we are
Yes.
supposed to be respected for our wisdom, right, and insight and power.
Mhm.
And this is our season where we wield it the best. And so the anti-aging billion-dollar industry,
Mhm.
we can look at it with a different eye.
Mhm.
Stop trying to make
Hmm. I said I'm some water.
Mhm. And trusting that we didn't miss anything, that we're right where we're supposed to be.
that was good.
Hmm.
Right. Yep. And that everything we've gone through is a part of the mosaic who makes us who we are. Complex,
Mhm.
simple, beautiful, all of the above. And we have to learn how to embrace all of it. Woo!
Mhm.
Y'all, thank y'all. I mean, it's no way we can get it all in. That's how good it is. So I'm just grateful for y'all willing to jump on at the last minute and share this moment with me. We'll be getting ready to start announcing in a month or so Serenity 2024, so that we can get ready, and bring a sister along, giving us more time to get ready for it.
Mhm.
And just knowing that there is a tribe of women out here for you to join, to support you and affirm this journey during midlife, as it certainly is. I This is my story. I'm sticking to it. The best season of our lives, and
Yeah.
the commitment to teaching our girls and
Mhm.
affirming and encouraging them and normalizing the conversation. I like to say we are normalizing it and decolonizing it, right? And
Mhm.
destigmatizing it all
Yay.
at the same time. Yay. I absolutely love y'all. Thank y'all for joining Mondays in the Meditation Room with Dr. K for midlife musings, and the guest that was so powerful. Thank you. Whether you watch live or you're going to watch the replay, we are looking forward to seeing you again in October, when we continue our radical reset conversations. In October, we're doing some physical radical reset. So we're
Amen.
so have a good evening, y'all. Get some restful, peaceful sleep. And remember that you are on a journey to rediscover the joy of being you in midlife and beyond. Good night, y'all. Woohoo!
Right.
Let me in.